time for the John Emerald Distilling Coaches Show on the Columbus River Dragons Radio Network. Tonight's show is brought to you by John Emerald Distilling, Southern States Bank, BioLife Plasma, Midas Total Car Care, Vector Ply, and PMB Broadcasting. Now to catch you up on all things River Dragons hockey, let's start tonight's show with Zach DeBozart.
Thank you very much, Brian Thomas. Welcome into the studios here at PMB Broadcasting. It is another edition of the John Emerald Distilling Coaches Show. I'm Zach DeBozart. Jerome Bichard will be with us via the phone today. Bichard Real Estate taking him out over into the deeper parts of Alabama. Can't get back in the studio in time, but don't worry, we'll be hearing from him plenty after what was a very fun weekend up in Winston-Salem. Speaking of that weekend up in Winston-Salem, a guy who knows a thing or two, not only about the weekend, playing there as well. He's our guest on tonight's show. It's Justin Schmit. Hi, Schmitty. How are we doing today?
What's going on, Zach?
It's going to be a lot of fun. I think the fans, they've gotten to know you pretty well for what happens on the ice, but it's good to finally get you here in the studio, talk a little bit off the ice. Before we even get into the weekend, we ran the stat over our social media pages, C_River Dragons, all the different guys, you know, how they did throughout the month. You show up not only for your first goal as a River Dragon, but a stat we ran, and you alerted us to it. 20 pro fights this season leads all major leagues across the world. How does that sound to you?
You know what? To be honest with you, Zach, I'm just lucky that I got good guys like Joe Pace and Nick Williams.
I guess it takes two to tango. That's fair.
Keep me relevant, right? Like they're two really good buddies of mine, and you know we compete against each other. You know. For the fans out there that think it's all make believe, like it's legit, but you know we're out there keeping each other relevant, and you know, I probably got 6 against Pacer and 6 against Willie, so
they're probably up there too, just based on that. You know, we didn't break down everybody's. We just took a look at who was up in the leaderboards, but we're very excited to talk with you about that throughout the season. But let's get into what happened this weekend for your Columbus River Dragons, taking on the Carolina Thunderbirds. A 3-game set. This was our last trip up to Winston-Salem this season, and it was a very important weekend. I think that was the vibe everyone had coming into it. Wouldn't you agree, Schmitty?
Yeah, absolutely. Like going into Winston's always tough. Like we've had trouble with Carolina, and they're a good road team. They're a good home team. And then we go into Winston, and you know we wanted to get 3 of 3, but we got 2 of 3, and old Bish came into the dressing room and going into the third on Sunday afternoon. He's like, "Boys, you guys better put together your best third period of hockey you guys can put together." And we absolutely did. You know, like Marquise and Jack Riley and MJ Graham and Pets and Dozer. I mean, those guys are. What those guys bring to the table is irreplaceable. You know what I mean? So they put together a good third period, and we snuck a win out.
Yeah, it was an incredible game on Sunday. We'll detail that here in a minute. But started off Friday night, 4-2 win for Columbus at Carolina. Started up Hunter Bersani's goal, 9:26 into the first, and then really the turning point of the game. I saw this as a little bit of deja vu, Justin, when you talk about how when we were in Danbury, I can't remember if it was a Friday game or the Saturday game, but we gave up 2 goals very late in the period in quick succession. And, you know, you can't win a game in 12 seconds, or in this case, 15 seconds when we scored them apart from each other, but you could definitely lose a game like that. I feel like we experienced that in Danbury, and then we did that against Carolina. Got a 5-on-3 opportunity, Petrantonio with about 30 seconds left, and then Adam Vanelli, 15 seconds left, 2 goals, back-to-back, just back-to-back daggers in the heart at the end of the second period. 3-0 at that point. While Carolina did storm back, made it interesting, Columbus still came back 4-2, and I thought that was an interesting bit, a little deja vu.
Yeah, it's being on the road, especially when you're in front of your home crowd, when you give up goals in front of your home crowd, it sucks the life right out of you. You know what I mean? So, I mean, we got some veterans like Pats and Dozer and even Hunter Bersani. Like, I love the kid. He's a rookie, but he plays like a veteran, right? And you know, they go on the road and they're road warriors, and when you're able to suck the life out of a team at home in front of their fans, it's really tough, right? So I mean, it was definitely an interesting road trip, but we gutted it out, and yeah, it was awesome.
3-0 up after 40 minutes. It took 52 minutes and 34 seconds for Carolina to find the back of the net this weekend, and it came when Declan Conway put one in with an assist from Tim Perks. Obviously, at that particular point, I think McBurney had about 35 or 40 saves under his belt. Both goaltenders were tested in the Friday game, but Bailey was just playing lights out, and you don't want to say it was sooner rather than later, but when you're Carolina and you're shooting that many shots, you got to figure one's got to go, and Bailey had a heck of a game despite that.
Oh, Bales gives us a chance to win every night. He's earned his starting spot. The thing about that is Carolina was taking a lot of perimeter shots. I know the shot count was high in a lot of perimeter shots that you're not gonna put the puck in the net from perimeter angles, right?
Yeah.
So their shot numbers were high, but they weren't taking high percentage shots.
Well, when you look at it, though, obviously one of them found the back of the net, and that seemed to really liven up their crowd again, because you mentioned it. Those goals, especially late in the second, really took the crowd out of the building. And when you can do that in Winston-Salem, that's big, because that's a very intimate arena. Fans feel like they're on top of you, low ceiling, so everything's loud in there. So you're cruising 50 minutes into a hockey game. Crowds had barely anything to cheer about. That's mission accomplished if you're the River Dragons.
Absolutely. Taking those Winston-Salem fans out of it. Like, I played in Winston-Salem 17 years ago, and I played 2 seasons there, and I loved that arena, and I loved that atmosphere. And I know what it's like to be a visiting team going in there, and I know what it's like being on the other side of the bench too. But to be able to take their crowd out of it early, like those Winston-Salem fans are intense, and they're passionate about hockey, and to be able to take them out of it early was kind of a feather in our hat. You know what I mean?
Definitely was. Dawson Baker did make it interesting with a goal. About 3 minutes left to go in the third. And then an empty netter. White and Ozelinch playing a little catch. Ozelinch fired it, looked for the empty net, and missed, but Hunter Bersani showed off the speed, was able to tap it in, beating out the icing. His second goal of the game. And the River Dragons win it 4-2 on Friday. Hunter Bersani, first star, 2 goals and assists for 3 points. Your good buddy Ian White had a heck of a game, 3 apples in this one. Tim Perks picked up star number 3 on Carolina's side. We then move it over to the Saturday game, and coming in with 3 points under your belt already. I know the goal was to take all 3, but after what happened in Danbury, how the team maybe didn't get off the best start, lost the first 2 that weekend, getting that first one Friday really had to get you feeling good. And the fact that Carolina pushes their start times up, so from 7:30 to 6 o'clock, maybe a little bit less turnaround, that doesn't feel as bad. When you got that win under your belt, legs probably feel a little lighter coming into that one, doesn't it?
Yeah, we were buzzing, and we played a great game on Saturday night. They started a goalie that we hadn't seen much this season, and he was stopping pucks from every angle, and we lit them up, and I mean they got a late one against us, and it was a playoff game, and it was a battle from start to finish against them, and I mean chances are we're probably going to see them in the playoffs, and so I mean we battled hard on Saturday, and it was a complete playoff game, but we still snuffed 2 or 3 out of against them, so.
Yeah, looking at Saturday's game, 1:29 in, Declan Conway found the back of the net first. I remember that one. That was a tough bounce, not much Rutledge, who was a starter in that one, could have done, but 1-0 through the first 20 minutes of play, and then Columbus was battling and took until the 18-minute mark of the second. Josh Petrantonio cutting across the slot, finds the back of the net, and I mean 1-1 through 40 minutes of play. I mean, you said it, Schmitty, we all really said it in the moment. Game had a playoff atmosphere. I I think because, you figure not to look ahead too much, but with playoffs, in the final third of the season, you start to think about that sort of stuff, that Columbus and Danbury are in a race in that 2-3 spot. And then you got teams like Binghamton and Carolina that are not only racing each other for positioning, but that two-team pack trying to catch up with the Columbus-Danbury two-team pack. And, I mean, let's be honest, Columbus and Carolina, fierce rivals. We've seen what's happened when these two teams get together. But in this game and this particular weekend, it feels like the decision was made was, hey, the result, the actual game matters a lot more than, hey, maybe I don't like you on the other side of the rink. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, absolutely, Zach. It was a tough decision, and we battled hard. I mean, Pats came up big for us that night, and then just a late goal by them on Saturday night. Chances are, Zach, we're gonna see them a lot.
Yeah.
The next couple months. It's always a battle with them. It's a war. Like they beat us in on home turf. We beat them in enemy territory. We just got to keep grinding against them. That Carolina team. I would much rather see Binghamton the first round of playoffs, but who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows what the universe has in store for us?
That's right. You never know with that choice option what the playoff tree is going to look like. Austin Doe, you mentioned him. He picked up a power play goal 7 minutes into the third, gave Columbus a lead. And I remember this one too because it came off of a play where Rozzy, their goaltender, got bumped, and there was some things said, and there was some blows traded. And Austin Doe, usually a very even-keel guy on the ice. We saw him mixing it up there with Butita. Is there a PG version of this story you can share out or no?
You know what? Dozer's probably the most sportsmanlike player in the entire league. Probably one of the most sportsmanlike players I've ever played with in my career. But he battles hard, and I think he one-handed it into the net.
Yeah, it was just a little poke.
It was like a little poke. I wish I had goals that easy. Come on my stick that easy too, But yeah, Batita was a little sour about it, and you know what, Johnny Batita is their captain, and he's a warrior and a competitor too, right? So I guess just being the stage of the game and the intensity of the game, Johnny was a little hot, but yeah, getting hot at Dozer is, I could see him. I could see someone like myself or maybe Levi Armstrong doing something like that. But for him to get hot at Dozer, I think Dozer is probably the cleanest player that's played in this league for a long time. So
Carolina does get the win on this day, though, because after that Doe goal, Schnapp tied it up with power play tally of his own, and then about a minute and a half left. Declan Conway, his second of the game, gets the game winner. Gus Ford, 3 assists on the night, was named star number 1. Brandon Rozzy, he had a heck of a day. 38 saves on 40 shots, was star number 2, and then Declan Conway's 2 goals made him star number 3. Turn the page over to Sunday, and it just had it had a playoff atmosphere on Saturday. And when you consider the weekend, Columbus wins Friday, Carolina wins Saturday, 2 out of 3. That Sunday game was no easy Sunday skate. We were like, all right, whoever's going to go out, whoever wins this game wins the weekend. Columbus got it going first with Austin Doe. Again, that Doe Petrantonio Bersani unit finding a little bit more of the magic they had from earlier in the season, showing up a lot on the score sheets again. Would not be surprised to see them find more of that red-hot form as the calendar turns over. We're in March now, and then, it's April, and then it's playoffs.
Yeah, it was I love 3-on-3s. I know some of these young guys have a little trouble with 3-on-3s on the road, but for me, I love playing 3-on-3s and our top line with Bersani and Pets and Dozer, they show up to perform every night. And in Hunter Bersani, you can't that kid. I can't say enough about the way that kid plays the game. Right, he never stops moving his feet, and you can't wipe a smile off his face. And he tucked early, I think, that game too, right?
It was Dozer's goal, 2:24 into the first. He tucked early in the first one. I remember that one.
Yeah.
He tucked early on Friday.
Dozer tucked, but that line is one of the best lines in minor pro hockey right now, I think.
Feels like it for sure.
Totally. Like you look at the numbers. Like Dozer just hit his career best points record. Pats is putting up numbers. I mean, Bersani's.
Bersani's close to 50 points already.
Man, that kid is unbelievable. He's just a little pup too, and he shows up every night, and this will obviously be his last night or his last season at this level. He's obviously moving way up just the way he plays the game. But having a first line like that gives us an opportunity to win every night.
Yeah.
You couldn't, like I said, you couldn't ask for a better first line on your team. And I guess I get blessed with the job to protect them little guys.
Columbus up 1-0 through 20 minutes on Sunday, and then Carolina, they found a little bit of magic in the second. Dawson Baker, Gus Ford, and then with about 2 seconds left, John Butita scored a goal, and it was 3-1 at that point. And I remember there was a lot of energy, there was a lot of emotion on the team, and Edgar Zozelinch actually got tossed out in between, as the period had ended. His double misconduct or whatever they ended up writing it down as in the book, but there was a lot of things that seemed to be going against Columbus, and you mentioned it a little bit, but take us into that locker room between the second and third period heading into Sunday, because you want to win the weekend. You just had a tough period out there, but 2-goal deficit, not that hard to overcome. 20 minutes left to go. What was that message? What was that spirit like?
Yeah, we went in there, and like it was kind of a buzzkill on Saturday night when we lost, lost that 3-2 game, and we kind of had that sour energy going into the third. And Ozil got kicked out, and I just taken a holding penalty, and Levi Armstrong busted his leg all up, and Jerome came in. He goes, boys, just go out and play the best 20 minutes you guys can put together, and the chips will fall where they may. So we went out in the third, and I mean, I'm not used to taking like a consistent regular shift, just playing the role I play. And I was all excited because I thought I was going to because Ozil got kicked out, so I was all excited. I thought I was going to.
You're playing D, right?
I was like, oh man, that's sweet. I get to be Whitey's D partner. And Beesh is like, Schmit, we're gonna bump you up on the third line, up with
Marquise
and Jack Riley. So I buzzed out there my first shift and just drove the net hard, I guess, and Marquise tipped one in. And then I was like, well, it's 3-2. And then we were on the power play. And I mean, Zach, you know me, right? I haven't taken I don't get many minutes on the power play. so we're on the power play, and Beesh goes, Schmitty, just drive that net again. So we're on the power play, and Whitey bounces one off my skate onto my tape, and I fire pass over to Riles, and we tied it up 3-2. So it was like, I think there's 12 minutes left or something.
There was still plenty of time. That was what was most impressive to me was, you want to score obviously quickly, and you don't want to really hold it off and be desperate late in the game. But it just felt like, with all those chips against us, team was calm, team was still very patient, and that goal from Riley, I'll be honest with you, I was still surprised that one went in, because everything from how Paulin had moved over seemed like he was ready for the shot, and Riley just beat him quick release to the 5-hole, and you get that, it's 3-3, and that's just brand new life. I mean, 3-2 feels good. All right, you're back within one, but to see that score back tied, that's brand new life, brand new hockey game.
It breaks your back. I know, they say it's cliche, but they say the worst lead to have in hockey is a 2-goal lead, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You give up one, and then all of a sudden you're, grasping at straws, and then all of a sudden it's tied up, and the momentum's all in that other team's favor, and then Dozer comes in and scores another big one. Man, that guy scores so many. Every goal that kid scores is a big one for us,
his second goal of the game. He's approaching 30 goals on the season now as well. Great setup from Grant Mentis. Just put it onto a stick, and then, Doe got the lob wedge out. He just popped that one over Paulin and pretty much landed on the goal line, nicely weighted, and goes eventually for the game winner, 4-3 the final. Jack Riley, a multi-point night. He had a goal and 2 assists. Schmit, you mentioned you got the assist in that one on the Riley goal. Grant Mentis also had a multi-point night, a goal and 2 assists for him. Austin Doe, 2 goals. I mean, you look at it, Doe had 2 goals, but that third line, and I know Mike Costantino was on the broadcast, he gave a little credit to Jerome, that, that third line where you, Marquise Grant Mentis, and Jack Riley, just sort of thrown together that day, obviously with Ozolinsh, being tossed as well. It really threw lines into jumbling, and Levi getting a little bit banged up. But, I mean, honestly, it was a heck of a third line. It was a really good look there. Yeah,
it's, like I've always played the game, try to contribute where you can, right? And some nights I might not take a shift, or some nights I'll have to go out and go out and get in a scrap, and then I won't take a shift for the rest of the game. And with Levi getting hurt, I was forced into a situation that I had to contribute more than just with my fists, and with Rouse, like Jack's one of those guys that Jack Riley plays the game well. He doesn't, he plays the game honestly, and Marquise has got great wheels. So having a big orangutan like myself on myself on the left wing, I think, even just finishing my checks, I think it creates some space for a guy like Rouse and a guy like Marquise, right?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what. I mean, whatever line you're skating on, I know those other guys are definitely feeling protected out there on the ice, being able to do what they need to do. River Dragons won it 4-3 on that Sunday afternoon, taking 6 points out of 9 back home with us here in Columbus. From the Friday game, clinched a spot in the playoffs, so X by our name on the standings. Obviously, goal number 1 on the path to the ultimate goal this season. We'll talk a little bit about the playoff scenarios and situations much later in the show, but that win helps solidify that, and then 3 more points brings us closer to the Danbury Hat-Tricks, but still percentage points behind them while we get ready for a 3-game set against the Rabbits this weekend. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we'll see if we can't get Jerome Bichard on the phone, get his takes on the weekend, learn a little bit more about Justin Schmit, and come up with the rest of the John Emerald Distilling Coaches Show after this on the Columbus River Dragons Radio Network.
The Chattahooch's favorite place for spirits in the valley is John Emerald Distilling Company in Opelika. Conveniently located in beautiful downtown Opelika, they're open Monday through Saturday for tours, tasting, and bottle sales. Not in Opelika? No problem. From Birmingham to Columbus, there's plenty of places where John Emerald originals are sold. Check out some of their favorite recipes at johnemeralddistilling.com and give them a follow on social media at JED Spirits on Twitter and Instagram.
An injury can be a game changer. That's why Houston Sports Medicine Team provides urgent ortho care, Saturday morning injury clinics during hockey season, and an emergency room at Jack Houston Memorial Hospital. An injury can be a game changer, and immediate evaluation and care can be a game changer too. For more information, go to Houston.com or call 706-324-6661.
Dressing for success is as easy as 1, 2, 3 with Wade Cleaners. Drop off your garment at any one of their 5 convenient branches or call their valet manager to pick them up. Go do something fun. Walk your dog, eat a hot fudge sundae, or go to a movie. Leave the dirty laundry to them. Pick up your professionally cleaned garments or have them delivered at no additional charge to your home or office. Yes, you too can dress for success with Wade Cleaners. Oh, and don't forget the little people as you move up in the world.
We know that juicy, cheesy, grilled to perfection burger sounds amazing, but it does sound like something is missing. Pepsi, baby! The yin to this burger's yang. Burgers and Pepsi go together like burgers and Pepsi. This perfect blending of flavors makes every bite of lettuce, every sesame seed on the bun, and every sip of that crisp, refreshing, ice-cold cola a journey to Foodtopia. Burgers, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Is that the sound of an ooey gooey cheesy crunchy slice of P-I-Z-Z-A? Obviously, but as good as that sounds, we think it can get even better. Oh yeah, that's the sound of a freshly opened fizz-filled Pepsi. The only thing that can take this flavor medley of crunchy dough, mouth-watering cheese, and savory sauce to the next level. How about another bite? Pepsi and pizza sound like a match made in heaven and taste even better. Pizza, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Progress. It's the belief that your life should be easier, that life should be fun, and that the best is yet to come. With us, you have a provider who pours everything into bringing progress home. And it's not just some big name in a faraway glass tower. That provider is here. That provider is Beam. With local service and faster internet, the only place you're going is forward. And we're taking you there. Progress. Your Beam. Your way.
Looking to bring the whole crew out to a game? Group nights are for you. Groups of 10 or more get special ticket pricing and exclusive merchandise and experience add-ons that will make your game at the Civic Center a night to remember. For more information on group rates and packages, visit ourdragons.com/tickets or call our ticketing manager at 706-940-0476. Ask about all the great perks we can provide your group. Work friends, family functions, there's no group too big for us to handle, but it starts by visiting ourdragons.com/tickets.
Bang, 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 bang! Vamonos, vamonos! Bang, bang, bang! Vamonos, vamonos!
We are back here on the John Emerald Distilling Coaches Show. It's a Tuesday night near the bottom of the hour. John Emerald Distilling, proud partners of Ignite Sports and Entertainment. Go check them out. Headquartered in Opelika, Alabama, with live tours and tastings every day they're open. And if you can't make it out to Opelika, check out some of our favorites here in Columbus that serve the John Emerald line of products, including Nonick Beer Bar and Kitchen downtown, Jarfly on 13th Street, as well as the Bottle Shop on Broadway. John Emerald Distilling, proud partner of Ignite Sports and Entertainment. I'm Zach DeBozar. Justin Schmit is in studio here with us. We'll have Jerome Bichard online with us here in the next segment. Just got to grab one or two things. Basically, Schmitty, I got to relearn how to work the phones here. I've completely forgotten how to do it. We very rarely have phones and getting people to call in remotely. So Jerome's out there doing the hard work over on the other side of the border. We'll connect with him in just a little bit. And it gives us time to learn about you, Justin Schmit, an enigma in and of yourself, because it seemed like when you told me, you were so happy to be back in pro hockey, I said, well, what do you mean back? And looked you up over the early part of the season, and you spent a lot of time in Canada, but you were in different senior leagues. Prior to coming here in Columbus, your last pro was 2008, 2009 with Tulsa. Is that right?
Yeah, that's it exactly. I banged it out in the minors for a lot of years, starting out, and then I moved back home and opened a boxing gym, and I was able to stay relevant, competing, playing senior hockey back home. The senior leagues back home are pretty comparable to the minor leagues down here, and was able to stay relevant, and it was just kind of a fluke of luck, Jeff Krupp and Jerome Bichard called me and said, Schmitty, are you willing to be a heavy for us and contribute in that way, this season? And it's like, well, shoot, I guess so. I guess I'll see where I stand, And I came in. I could barely lace up my skates the first couple weeks, but I was able to stay relevant. I had some good fights with Pacer and Willie, and managed to keep me relevant in this league, and bounced a couple off my butt or something.
When we look at it, you made your pro debut actually not too far from here, up in the north of Alabama, Huntsville Havoc, in the SPHL. Spent 2 seasons there. During that second season, you also were with the Twin City Cyclones. You had mentioned earlier, being in Winston, not only as an enemy, as a road team, but also as a home team guy as well. And first, let me ask you this. You talk about, those days of the minors playing in the SPHL with Huntsville and Twin City. how does that look in your mind to what it is now? Because I have to imagine through the lens of Justin Schmit, seeing the evolution of hockey and how it's been, it's got to be crazy, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was a different world back then for sure. We didn't have cell phones back then, or guys did have cell phones. We definitely couldn't take pictures with them, but it was a different world and a different lifestyle. Being able to play for Keith Jeffries in Huntsville was pretty neat. They're like the Huntsville Havoc are a great organization. I had great coaches there. I had John Gibson and Mike DeGurst was our captain. We played against Bish. Bish was leading the old Cottonmouth back then. The Cottonmouth fans remember, like, Craig Stahl was the captain then, and it was definitely a different feel in the minors. Like for myself, being a tough guy back then, you'd look down the bench and you'd see 9 tough guys that are willing to go you, whereas now you got to go hunting for 1 or 2. So it was a little different game, but the energy's changed. And I mean, for a guy like me, I could play the game all right, but now these kids are so fast and they can shoot the puck so hard and they pass the puck so well. It's definitely a different game, right? So I gotta, just to stay relevant, I just always got to keep my feet moving and
No doubt. It's a good habit to have, though. Keep your feet moving. Keep you in games more often than not, for sure. I think I'm off by a year, or maybe the timelines don't exactly match up with this question. But a lot of fans, especially the old Cottonmouth days, know of a Pink in the Rink brawl night in Winston-Salem, Twin City Cyclones. I don't think that was the year you were there, though, right?
No,
I think you missed it by 1.
I
right?
was never there. I was never a part of any brawls against Columbus, but my first pro.
That's a good qualifier against Columbus.
Yeah. Oh no, I've had brawls in pretty much every other minor league city. But my first pro hockey fight was against a guy named Connor McDonald. He actually passed away a few years ago, but he played for Jerome in Columbus. He was a Cottonmouth, and so we fought in Columbus. We were both 21-year-old kids. I think he was from PEI or Nova Scotia or something.
Right.
And we fought in Columbus, and he shattered my orbital bone and crushed my eye socket, my nose. And I got to the penalty box, and the lady working the penalty box, the off-ice official, was like, Schmitty, you better go to the dressing room. Then I was like, what do you mean? She's like, your face is mangled.
Oh no.
So I skated off the ice. I didn't know any better, right? So I skated off the ice, and all the off-ice officials are looking at me like, oh my God, man, your face is screwed right up. So I got into the dressing room, and I looked at my face, and it looked like I was kind of caved in from my eye socket to my ear on the one side.
Oh my goodness!
But it was and then Connor and I had a few more good fights over our career, and he was a really really good kid and a hard-nosed competitor. So then a year later, they had Tom Wilson. Columbus's tough guy was Tom Wilson, and I was playing for Huntsville, and Jerome sent Willie out to fight me, and our coach John Gibson said, Schmitty, you're not fighting Willie tonight. Like, he's a tough lefty. We're coming off a long road trip. We're losing like 6-1 in Columbus.
Oh no.
He's like, don't give these Cottonmouth fans anything. Like, let's get our unpack our bags and get on the bus and get back to Huntsville. So I'm sitting on the bench, and Trevor Krasowicz says something obscene to Willie.
Oh boy!
And Willie chases me around the ice for like 45 seconds. Like, You can watch it on YouTube. There's a YouTube video of Tom Wilson chasing me around the ice in Columbus. So that was funny. But the next time we rolled into Columbus, it was a sold out barn in Columbus, and everybody had rubber chickens on nooses with little Justin Schmit jerseys, and they were calling me Chicken Schmit.
Oh my goodness!
Which is funny now that I'm here and making a name for myself as a Columbus player, because the Columbus fans absolutely despised me when I played for Huntsville.
That's incredible. Oh my God. I'm gonna have to look up that footage of him running around with you. That is something else. So that was the SPHL, the CHL. You had some time with Rocky Mountain and Tulsa, and then when you went back to Canada, I want to know how the timeline fits with this too, because like when we had Austin Doe in here, bit of a multi-sport guy because he does the auto racing thing. Prior to coming back here, you were involved up in MMA and in bullfighting. Where does that fall into what different parts of your hockey career you were in?
I to be honest with you, Zach, I just I went back home and I opened my gym, and I wanted to be able to compete. Like competition's everything for me. I always boxed. I boxed from I boxed from the time I was 6 years old. I was a little boy, and I boxed Gold Gloves when I was 6 years old. So I wanted to stay relevant and competing, and MMA and boxing were starting to become more mainstream, and I started competing at that and made out all right, I guess, and it was paying my bills and giving me a little extra on the side, and it was a fun life. It definitely didn't fill the gap, because it was it was an individual sport, right? Being able to go to war with 18 of my best buddies is something is a feeling that I don't think you'll ever be able to.
You can't get that anywhere else.
You cannot get it anywhere else. And then with rodeo and stuff, being a bullfighter, I guess it's similar to the same job I have on the ice. Protecting my teammates. When you're a bullfighter, you're protecting bull riders from getting wiped out by buck and stock. Mm-hmm. But yeah, Zach, I don't know if you could ever. I don't know if you could ever replace the feeling you get for myself being able to go, to stand up and fight a guy like Nick Williams or Joe Pace or Alex Bassey or all these tough guys that are relevant as tough guys in this league. To be able to protect my teammates from people like that, it makes me feel good about myself, and it's that's the same as stepping in front of a bull to protect a down bull rider, right?
Yeah, I mean you're a key part of the team. It's an important role that might be diminishing in hockey, but I don't know if it'll ever go away just because of the nature of the sport. And it's certainly a special kind of person that has to step in and thrive there. And I'm curious about this part of it now too, because you mentioned doing the MMA thing, you mentioned doing the rodeo thing, and with your job as a hockey guy too. All three of those are extremely high adrenaline, extremely dangerous, just, lifestyles. And I have to ask, growing up as a player or however you envision yourself, growing up in Canada and what you wanted to be, were you always a thrill seeker, or were you a guy that stepped into the roles and then found the thrill inside the roles?
No, I've always, Zach, my mother said when I was a little kid, she used to find me out in the back trying to catch like wild horses. I've always been a little bit wild, I guess. the protector scene, I guess, has been, something I've thrived on. As long as I can play. I always played at a high level, but I was never a great player. Like pretty much everybody in professional hockey was always, growing up, they were always they were the best player on their team growing up, Whereas myself, I was always just a team guy, right? It was always the team first. But yeah, as far as the adrenaline goes, I suppose adrenaline's always been my drug of choice, Zach.
Well, it's certainly a crazy one, and you look at how you've been. It's been awesome to have you on the ice. We really appreciate your time here today. Learn a little bit more about you. The last thing we got to ask about, because we're coming up against a break here, but the last thing we got to ask you about is because the fans want to know the goal you scored in Danbury. First goal, obviously for you, I think in some time in the pros, right? But I mean, everyone loves seeing their enforcer, seeing their big guy score. And I know I was excited. I know the boys were. You could see the reaction online. Take us through the moment. What did you see? What was it like in that? What was it like in the room?
Be honest with you guys. I hadn't taken a shift. Hadn't taken a shift that game at all, and Spotty Marquise got in a fight.
Yep.
And he fought a monster, actually. And I went over to the penalty box and let him know that I cared about him and said you did a good job, because it's tough fighting, right?
Yeah. And
then I'm looking on the bench, and Bish is like, Schmitty, you ready to take a shift with MJ? And I'm like, yep. He's like, just move your feet, man. So I get out there, and it wasn't even. I didn't even have a great shift, actually. I kind of got caught up, and my feet don't move as fast as they did 15 years ago. But I got caught up with the guy, and he blew past me, and then there was a turnover, and somehow me and MJ and on a 2-on-1, and I'm like, okay, I'm on a 2-on-1 with MJ. I'm burying my head, and I'm going to the net, and hopefully they bounce something off my butt or something, right? And so I'm driving the net. My eyes are closed, probably. And
please tell me you looked and saw the puck.
All of a sudden, there's a puck on my stick. And there's an empty net in front of me, and I take 14 chops on it and put it in there. So the boys, anytime a tough guy scores a goal, everybody's fired up, right? So the boys come flying over, and they all look like pianos. Their teeth were so big, right? They're smiling so hard, and I'm trying to act like I've scored before, right? So I'm trying to play it cool, right? Yeah, I've scored 4 other times in my life. So I got my game face on, And then one of their guys comes up and was like, "Good job, Schmitty." One of the other team's players gave me a pat on the back for scoring a goal. So then I kind of got a smirk on my face, and then we're doing the flyby past the bench, and you can see Ozil smile. You can see Edgar's Ozil just smile from outer space, right? So he's smiling, and Whitey's all fired up, and the boys are fired up, and I was, like I said, I was actually trying to act like a pro, like I'd actually scored a goal before. Done it before. But when I saw them, I was so fired up. You couldn't wipe the smile off my face. It was from ear to ear.
Oh man, it was a good time. I remember for sure, and it was good to get that win too, because obviously that was the Danbury series where we don't win that game, we would have been swept. So key part of that. It was awesome, and I definitely had fun calling that goal for you. So it's a lot of fun. Great weekend in Danbury. Great time so far, and still a couple more great months to go left in this season. That was Justin Schmit. Great to learn from him. When we come back, we're going to close out tonight's John Emerald Distilling Coaches Show with a look ahead to this upcoming weekend against those Danbury Hat Tricks. Don't go anywhere. It's after this on the Columbus River Dragons Radio Network.
At Southern States Bank, the Common Sense Bank, we're a true community bank that supports the places we serve. Our people live, work, and play in your community. And you will find us cheering for the River Dragons right alongside you in the stands. With convenient locations throughout Alabama and Georgia, we're never too far away to handle any of your financial concerns. Call, click, or come by and see how we can help you make sense out of your banking. Visit us online at southernstatesbank.net. Southern States Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. NMLS number 410611.
When it comes to working on the land, springtime is go time. From mowing and mulching to planting and hauling, be ready to tackle any job with quality John Deere equipment from Sun South. We'll help you find the right equipment to meet your needs. And right now, you can get 0% financing for 72 months on select John Deere 1 through 5 series tractors. So why wait another season to do more and save more? For quality John Deere equipment, come see us at Sun South. Equipment for those that do.
Some restrictions apply. See dealer for details. Offers expires March 31st, 2022.
An injury can be a game changer. That's why Houston Sports Medicine Team provides urgent ortho care, Saturday morning injury clinics during hockey season, and an emergency room at Jack Houston Memorial Hospital. An injury can be a game changer, and immediate evaluation and care can be a game changer too. For more information, go to Houston.com or call 706-324-6661.
If you're looking for quality dental work, look no further than Largeman Dental in Columbus, the River Dragons' trusted oral care provider. Largeman Dental provides cleaning services, restorative work, cosmetics, prosthetics, and Invisalign braces too. Dr. Largeman has over 19 years of clinical experiences in all phases of dentistry and holds memberships in 4 different esteemed dental societies. Set your next appointment by calling 706-322-6581 or visit them online at largemandental.com.
Let Shred Away, a division of the Overby Company, take care of all your document shredding needs. We can design a custom shredding program for your business today. No need to purchase equipment, no maintenance expenses, no need to prepare records for destruction, increase employee productivity, increase security, no worry. Was it really destroyed? Right now, all new customers can receive 10% off. Shred Away, a division of the Overby Company, locally owned and operated in downtown Columbus. That's Shred Away, 706-577-9668.
Nothing to do tonight? Want to bet? At Victoryland Casino, you'll find the latest and greatest gaming machines featuring fun bonuses and huge jackpots. Wager and win on horse and greyhound races from all over the world. And try your luck on our popular sports parlay promotion. Don't miss your chance to win at Victoryland Casino, located off I-85, exit 22, Shorter, Alabama. Must be 21 or older.
Stay up to date with everything Columbus River Dragons by following the team on social media. Stay in the know with all the team news on Facebook and Instagram. Get live in-game updates via Twitter. And of course, catch every game on the YouTube page. Following is easy. Search at @C_River Dragons on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. It's never been easier to stay in the loop with your favorite hockey team, so what's stopping you? Drop us a fun comment or send us a message, and we may just feature you on the feeds. That's C_River Dragons on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube.
Everybody out here crazy, crazy. Hail to the victor.
We are back here at the John Emerald Distilling Coaches Show. Been having a lot of fun mixing it up with our special player guest today, Justin Schmit. Just got to learn all about him, all the different facets from the hockey player side to the bullfighter side to the MMA side and so many more. The goal scoring side too. I think fans definitely appreciated that, Schmitty. So we thank you for that. And I know fans definitely love to getting used to you. And I don't think the moniker from the past is going to be hanging around too much, if at all, is it?
No, it's, I always told, I've told even my son, my son's growing up now and he's, going into junior hockey, and I said, if you can find a city that you actually love playing in, don't leave it, and I played in Huntsville, and I loved playing in Huntsville. It was a great city, but I was always trying to get to the get up to the next level, or and being able to play here in Columbus, It's, this is where I want to finish it out. This is one of the best hockey towns I've ever played in, and it's beautiful. We're on the Chattahoochee. We got Alabama on one side and Georgia on the other, and I love being able to finish out whatever I have left of my professional career here in this beautiful spot, right?
It's a great place to be for sure, and we'll be here in our arena coming up this weekend against the Danbury Hat-Tricks. 3 games in 3 nights against the Rabbits. Friday and Saturday puck drops are at 7:30. Sunday is a 4:30 puck drop. We do know that there are some tickets out there that were printed from season ticket packages or were purchased online that say 7:30. The game time is 4:30. You do not need to exchange your ticket. All tickets listed with that date will be good regardless of the time. So fans, there's a PSA out on our social medias, C_River Dragons, if you're following us there. But 7:30, and then 4:30 on that Sunday game against Danbury. And these are some very important games coming up here, Schmit. I mean, we talked about how, with Columbus and Carolina, both teams jockeying for position, really focused on the hockey. I think even more so when you look at Danbury, because right now there's mere percentage points separating the two teams. 620 for Danbury, 614 for Columbus. I mean, whoever comes out with more points out of the 9 available is going to be in second place. And second place down the stretch is huge because it's the difference between picking your opponent in the first round or having a bye into that semifinal round. So these are very important games coming up.
Yeah, this next week, the next 2 weekends, realistically, against Danbury and Watertown, our next 6 games are so vital and so crucial. I mean, Watertown's going to be tough to catch, but yeah, being able to have home ice advantage in the playoffs, being able to pick your team for the first round is pretty it's pretty huge. So I mean, we got three against Danbury, and they're a hard to play team. They're they don't have the toughness that Watertown or Port Huron or Carolina has, or Delaware, but they're hard. They're a tough to play team. They play the game the right way. I mean, Dave McIsaac is a great coach, and his players play the game the right way. So it's going to be, this weekend's going to be a battle for sure. Like I said, I probably won't have, it's not like when Watertown comes to town and they got, I look down their bench and there's 14 tough guys I got to fight, or Port Huron with Pacer and Willie, but they play the game the right way, and they're going to give us a battle, and I mean they're ahead of us in the standings, so realistically, this is the biggest weekend we got coming up.
Yeah, they're all going to be big coming up down the stretch. River Dragons against the Hat-Tricks again. 3 games, 3 nights, Friday and Saturday, 7:30, Sunday at 4:30. Tickets available, Civic Center box office or on Ticketmaster. Get yourself out here. It's going to be some exciting games, some very important games that could decide where some teams potentially fall in the playoff pecking order. Speaking of those playoffs, as we mentioned at the start of the show, Columbus did clinch their spot in the 2022 Commissioners Cup playoffs with that win on Friday night against Carolina, so an X by their name. 2 other X's have already been handed out. The Watertown Wolves and the Danbury Hat-Tricks as well have spots, and based on how things go this weekend, you could see the other 3 X's potentially handed out. When you look at the FPHL standings, it goes by points percentage, so it's not exactly easy math to do, but we've done some of it for the fans here ahead of time. When you're looking at the games this weekend, Binghamton's magic number to clinch is 2. Carolina's is 6, which means between Binghamton, Carolina, and Delaware, if Binghamton/Carolina pick up points, Delaware drops points, that drops the magic number, and when that magic number hits 0, you get the X by your name. So on Friday, when Watertown is hosting Binghamton. If the Black Bears win that game in any fashion, that will be at least 2 points, which would drop them down to 0. Or if Delaware loses in any fashion against Port Huron on Friday, that would also drop them down. Binghamton at 2, Carolina at 6. Port Huron could actually clinch as well, despite their magic number being 18, and that's because they're in Delaware for a 3-game set Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So if Port Huron sweeps 9 points out of 9, that's 9 points gained for Port Huron, 9 points dropped for Delaware. 9 plus 9 is 18, and that would obviously get Binghamton and Carolina's numbers to 0 as well. So the 6 teams could be mathematically clinched by this weekend, but much more likely you see Binghamton and possibly Carolina, who is off this weekend, so their fate fully rests on how Port Huron handles the Delaware Thunder. As we mentioned, Columbus is hosting Danbury, and then Watertown and Binghamton, they do the rare home and home and home series. Easy to do when you're about only 100 or so miles in the same state. Not that we would know anything about that here. But in Watertown Friday and Sunday, and then at the Visions Veterans Memorial Arena on Saturday. That is Binghamton and Watertown in their 3-game set. That's the look at the standings. That's the situation as it stands right now. And that really just about does it for tonight's edition of the John Emerald Distilling Coaches Show. Schmitty, it was a lot of fun mixing it up here with you. I know we missed Jerome here for this one. We had plans to call him, but honestly, we were having so much fun. We said, hey, we'll get his comments on the next show, and we'll see how it goes. Schmitty, I want to thank you for being so open and honest. It was a great time. Hope you had fun here today.
Oh yeah, it was awesome, Zach. Like I said, it was too bad old Beach didn't make his way into the show, but I get to listen to him all day every day. So
you were you were a fine replacement for him here in this one. All right, well that'll do it for today's show. We're gonna play our final break. You'll hear our outro, and we'll put it right back into regularly scheduled programming. This has been the John Emerald Distilling Coaches Show on the Columbus River Dragons Radio Network. Have a good night, everybody.
The Chattahoochee favorite place for spirits in the valley is John Emerald Distilling Company in Opelika. Conveniently located in beautiful downtown Opelika, they're open Monday through Saturday for tours, tasting, and bottle sales. Not in Opelika? No problem. From Birmingham to Columbus, there's plenty of places where John Emerald originals are sold. Check out some of their favorite recipes at johnemeralddistilling.com and give them a follow on social media at JED Spirits on Twitter and Instagram.
Dressing for success is as easy as 1, 2, 3 with Wade Cleaners. Drop off your garment at any one of their 5 convenient branches or call their valet manager to pick them up. Go do something fun. Walk your dog, eat a hot fudge sundae, or go to a movie. Leave the dirty laundry to them. Pick up your professionally cleaned garments or have them delivered at no additional charge to your home or office. Yes, you too can dress for success with Wade Cleaners. Oh, and don't forget the little people as you move up in the world.
Let Shred Away, a division of the Overby Company, take care of all your document shredding needs. We can design a custom shredding program for your business today. No need to purchase equipment, no maintenance expenses, no need to prepare records for destruction, increase employee productivity, increase security. No worry. Was it really destroyed? Right now, all new customers can receive 10% off. Shred Away, a division of the Overby Company, locally owned and operated in downtown Columbus. That's Shred Away, 706-577-9668.
At Southern States Bank, the Common Sense Bank, we're a true community bank that supports the places we serve. Our people live, work, and play in your community. And you will find us cheering for the River Dragons right alongside you in the stands. With convenient locations throughout Alabama and Georgia, we're never too far away to handle any of your financial concerns. Call, click, or come by and see how we can help you make sense out of your banking. Visit us online at southernstatesbank.net. Southern States Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. NMLS number 410611.
Progress. It's the belief that your life should be easier, that life should be fun, and that the best is yet to come. With us, you have a provider who pours everything into bringing progress home. And it's not just some big name in a faraway glass tower. That provider is here. That provider is Beam. With local service and faster internet, the only place you're going is forward. And we're taking you there. Progress. Your Beam. Your way.
You've been listening to the John Emerald Distilling Coaches Show on the Columbus River Dragons Radio Network. Tonight's show was brought to you by John Emerald Distilling, Southern States Bank, BioLife Plasma, Midas Total Car Care, Vector Ply, and PMB Broadcasting. All rights to this broadcast are reserved for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction, retransmission, or other distribution of the descriptions or accounts of the show may not take place without the express written consent of Ignite Sports and Entertainment and PMB Broadcasting. This has been a presentation of the Columbus River Dragons Hockey Club.
Columbus